Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone, welcome back to the English Club Communities podcast, where we speak to inspire and learn to empower. I am Gadisha Kinanti Mumtaz from 8A.
And I'm Mariska Kartika Wijaya from 8B, here to have a meaningful yet casual conversation with all of you.
Since we are recording this in the month of August.
Oh, it's already August? Oh, how time flies so fast yet so slow.
Yes, it is. And we have a special theme today, being the meaning of independence in today's era.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be the Independence Day of Indonesia, wouldn't it be? Sorry
Yes,
for my stuttering.
It's okay, but it's gonna be the 80th Independence Day to Indonesia. You made me stutter too.
Since we're recording this in August.
Since we're recording this in August, however,
It's already August? Oh, how time flies so fast yet so slow.
yes, it is actually the 80th Independence Day.
Yeah, it's gonna be the Independence Day of Indonesia, wouldn't it?
Do you know the theme of today's podcast?
No, I don't know.
It's the meaning of independence in today's era.
Oh, so that's why we're gonna say it together along with the
What are we
audience. Let's say it
What?
in 3, 2,
okay.
1. Happy Independence Day, Indonesia Merdeka! Well, anyways, I wanted to ask a question. Why are we wearing scout uniforms? Shouldn't we wear like on Wednesdays? Why now?
You actually reminded me, it's National Scout Day, or known as Hari Pramuka in Indonesia.
Oh yeah, the ceremony. Didn't we do like a ceremony in the morning?
Yes, it is. Congratulations to all of you who
We had a part in the
Yes,
ceremony,
yeah.
But
I'm sorry.
yeah, I want to talk about. Let's not talk about that. The fact that I had to go to a clinic before the ceremony. But anyways, I think we did something else too that day, didn't we?
Oh, we did races, like for August 17 and that.
Oh, races. Oh yeah, aren't we in the same group?
Yeah, we are, but there's gonna be more races tomorrow. So prepare yourself, don't get sick like today.
Oh no. Well, the first game was kind of embarrassing, especially for women. And the men were also kind of weird doing the first race, which is like where you have to, maybe you could explain to the audience.
So basically, there's like this hat and there's like this little metal rod that's,
Can you go a bit
thing.
louder?
On the head of the hat, and
Sorry.
then you have to get it in a metal ring like that.
Yeah, it was really embarrassing, but I managed to win to the semifinals without intending to. Well, never again. I wouldn't want to try it out. But anyways, about the second game, do you know about it?
I think it's involved with pipes and
Yeah, we were supposed to like do teamwork with our groups, and yeah, it was actually kind of fun but stressful because, our team sometimes can't
cooperate.
can't teamwork with us, and yeah, that might end up with us losing, but that's the fun of it. Yeah, okay.
Yes.
Next up, moving on to the podcast.
All right. So since we are talking about independence, when you hear the word independence, what would come to your mind first?
Well, when I was a kid, I thought that independence meant being free from the colonial rule, period. But the older I get, the more that I realize that independence is deeper than just physical freedom,
So do you think people our generation still value independence as much as our ancestors did?
Well, in a way, yes. But this time it's different. Back then, the fight was physical, and now this fight is like more mental and emotional. We might not be under foreign rule, but we can still be colonized by things like the social media addiction, peer pressure, or even the fear of failure.
You mentioned being colonized by things in the modern life. Can you give us some examples, maybe?
Yes, take social media maybe. If we keep comparing ourselves to others, that's already a form of colonization. Or when someone's afraid to speak up about what's right because they fear judgment, that's also a way that our independence is slipping away from us without us realizing it.
That's true. So how do we recognize when we're not truly free?
Well, one sign is that we feel like we have to do something just to fit in instead of because it aligns with our values and goals. Well, let me ask you a question now. In this digital era, how do you think we can truly be free?
So for me, it's to use technology with good reasons, which is to learn online, inspire others, and connect meaningfully, not just to show off.
Well, can you share a personal example of how to use technology to support independence, maybe?
Sure, I had this friend who started a small online business in the pandemic where everything was isolated. She learned skills from YouTube. She can actually monetize them really well and manage her own finances. That's a perfect example of technology empowering someone instead of enslaving them.
Oh, I see. Well, maybe the audience too has like many cool stories about these stuff. Well, you could also always comment down below. And yeah, moving on. Well, that's also well said though. Same goes for the economy. Many people now have started to maybe work from home, start their own businesses, or even become content creators. That's also creative. But yeah, that's also a form of economic independence.
Economic independence is actually more power than you think. It gives you the freedom to make choices by yourself without being overly dependent on others.
So, what advice would you give to the audience, maybe, or maybe younger people who want to achieve economic independence?
Sure, why not? For me, it's just to start slowly and steady. Don't go really rush all the way to the finish and make it perfect. No. Mistakes are part of the journey. So just manage your time well and monetize the skill you can monetize really well.
Well, speaking of the youth, what do you think is the best way to honor our independence?
For me, it's not just about joining ceremonies on August 17, but actively contributing to building our nation by studying seriously, being honest, and care for others and yourself too.
Well, maybe does the audience think that these small acts really make a difference? Well, let's hear our host's answers. Oh no, I made the mic shake.
But yes, in my opinion, absolutely. Imagine if every student in Indonesia decided not to cheat on exam, our education system would actually skyrocket. Small actions add up to big changes.
That's such a key point. Sometimes we get so caught up in looking for big meanings that we also forget that independence also shows up in our small daily choices.
Exactly, loving Indonesian isn't just about singing patriotic songs, but learning, not being rude, and, well, care for yourself. What's one small habit that made you feel more independent?
Well, for me, it's waking up early and setting my own schedule. It might sound simple, but deciding how I spend my morning for the whole day sets the whole tone. Maybe some of you here in the audience doesn't know how to wake up early and set their own schedule by themselves. Well, you should start right now because that's the first step to becoming independent.
That's true, but let's talk about culture.
Ooh, culture. I like me some culture.
Yes, but do you think culture is still as important as it is today in the globalized world?
Definitely. We can learn about other cultures, but we shouldn't lose ourselves in the process. For example, using Indonesian language proudly while also mastering English for global communication.
That's why you should join the English club today. It's free. Yes.
Well, yes, English club is free. But anyways, I would like to continue is that I usually keep my culture personally growing, and it's by maybe enjoying traditional foods. You know, there's like lots of traditional foods in Indonesia that I like. And I will also celebrate national holidays meaningfully with my family and friends. And then I will also, share some Indonesian proverbs with younger relatives so they remember our roots. Anyways, I would like to ask you now, how does education tie into independence?
So, education is like knowledge and the critical thinking skills to make informed decisions. That's the true foundation of independence.
So, is formal education the only way to achieve this?
Not at all. Learning can anywhere, and I mean anywhere, from books, online courses, mentors, and even personal experience. The will, the Yeah, and the will is just to keep learning. I'm slipping really bad.
Yeah, it's okay. We've talked about mental and economic independence before, but what do you think about physical health? Do you think that it plays a role? Does the audience think it plays a role?
In my opinion, absolutely. If you're not healthy, your independence is limited. Imagine wanting to work, study, or even start a basic project, but your body can't keep up. You just end up relying on others even for the smallest things.
That's true, especially for the viewers here who might have trouble with doing that. So, but anyways, I would like to ask you, what's one thing that people can do to maintain that physical independence, you know?
It's actually easier than you think. You can just take a 10-minute walk, move your body daily, or maybe even run. You can eat in a way that fuels you and not just fills you up. Independence means having the energy to live your life on your own terms.
Nice. Maybe the audience are still not doing that stuff. Well, maybe you should start it right now because that's a way to become independent too.
Yes, but let's shift to social independence. How would you define social independence?
Well, I think that it's the ability to be yourself in a group and still be able to make your own choices. You can be in a community, but you can also still make your own decisions, right?
Why is it so important today?
Well, because peer pressure is real. Whether you're 15 or 15, you can either make a decision like, I respect your choice, but I'm making a different one without feeling guilty.
But does being independent mean making your choices all by yourself?
Not at all. Independence doesn't mean that you is an isolation. It's about having the final say in your life after considering input from others.
Can you give an example maybe?
Well, yes, let's say that you're choosing a career. You might ask for advice from family, friends, or even mentors. But in the end, you're choosing your career based off of your values and goals and not what others expect.
But how would you balance independence but also ask for help when you need it?
That's the tricky part. Independence includes knowing your limits, and asking for help doesn't make you weak. It means you're wise enough to use resources around you.
So independence isn't just doing everything by yourself then.
Exactly. It's about choosing when to lean on others without fully becoming dependent.
We keep coming back to responsibility. Why is it so closely tied to independence?
Because responsibility is about independence, and independence without responsibility, independence can turn into selflessness. Independence doesn't mean doing whatever you want. It's about doing what's right even when you don't feel like it.
That's a powerful point actually.
It's the balance between rights and duties. You have the rights to speak freely, but also the duties to speak truthfully. Well, then, I would like to ask, how does knowing who you are relate to independence?
If you don't know who you are, you'll let others decide for you. Self-awareness protects you from independence, and you're just grounded even in your own values and purposes.
Maybe you should speak louder than that, but is self-discovery a part of the journey now?
Yes, the more you understand yourself, the harder it is for external forces to force inside you, I guess. That's how I would say it.
Well, yeah, maybe the
Yeah.
audience here has an opinion, different opinion. You can comment down below, maybe, because the guest here is kind of
What?
little voice. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah. Okay, whatever. But I have another question for you. Can you be in a close relationship and still be independent?
Well, in my experience, yes. A healthy relationship is based on two whole people choosing to be with each other, but not two halves trying to complete each other.
So independence can actually make relationships stronger.
Yes, exactly. When both people have their own lives, goals, or even self-worth, they can support each other without actually losing themselves.
How do you know all this information?
You don't need to know. Alright, changing the topic, how can we teach independence to younger generations or even to the audience?
For me, in my opinion, it's just to give them space to make their own decisions, let them learn by themselves, and even the mistakes. Mistakes are just a part of the journey. The big reason is just to keep learning.
Yes.
Well,
What?
isn't it risky to let them fail?
Not at all. It's better to let them fail in a safe environment than never to try at all.
I know the audience here has made lots of mistakes, but you can learn from them and start becoming more independent. So I hope you agree with us. Hope so.
Well, after all of these discussions, it's clear that independence isn't just about the history, it's about the choices we make every single day.
Exactly, whether it's how we use our time, our words, or our technology, it's how we shape the freedom that we have.
Yes, but what about the viewers? Do they think independence is more on the big action or in the small things we make in the everyday habit?
We'd love to hear your thoughts. You can share them with us on our social media, comment down below.
And once again,
Happy Independence Day, Indonesia Merdeka! Remember, we're the English Club community where we speak to inspire and learn to empower. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
we
Yay!